How is that? Is that better? Okay. I'd like to have everyone's attention, please. If you haven't found a seat, please do. We've got some under the shade here. And as warm as it is out here, you need to take advantage of that. I'd like to, and there's water at the end of the set of awnings here. Help yourselves to that. I'd like to welcome everyone here today for this historical event that for the Eastland County Water Supply District and also the County of Eastland. This project, we're calling it the Lake Leon Dam and Spillway Improvement Capacity Improvement Project, is been ongoing for right at 5 years now, and we're finally at a point where construction will start. In fact, Dorado, our contractor, has already started. This is a great day for the county, for the district, for the citizens of Eastland County, the water supply, rural water supplies, the cities of Eastland, the city of Ranger, and thanks to the mayors from both cities and some of their government commissioners being here. We have a lot to be thankful for in this project. We've had a tremendous amount of support from local individuals, from so many agencies. I wish that Greg Gotch was here. Greg is with the Texas Department of Emergency Management out of Abilene. He, Judge Fields, and the Eastland County Commissioner Court have been exemplary through this whole process. Also, First Financial Bank has been very helpful. We dealt with then David Bailey, which has moved on farther up the ladder with First Financial, but they've been exemplary also on helping fund this total project. This is a FEMA, Texas Department of Emergency Management funded project, which that entails a 75% grant, 25% matching pay due from the water district. This project, like I say, has been ongoing for 5 years. We've had unsurmountable amount of government red tape to get through, different agency clearances to get this done, but we've gone through all of those now. And I'd like to give a special thanks to Warren Samuelson and Johnny Cosgrove with the TCEQ Dam Safety Inspection Division. Also to TxDOT, for our engineers have managed to get TxDOT to participate in this project. They are going to, and they have their own contractor, to rebuild 2461 here, the farm to market you came in on. Also to put the culvert area in the channel. And they're also going to do the road surface over the saddle dam, which is this part of the dam you've come to first before the main dam. That helped us tremendously, because that was in excess of $800,000 we didn't have to spend on this project. We've had a lot of assistance and help from handling gas. They have relocated their gas line through our emergency spillway. They just finished yesterday afternoon, in fact, and hauling their equipment out today and tomorrow. Also, Steve Hayes with Brakay Oil and Gas. We made a deal with him. He has vacated 2 wells that he has through our emergency spillway, and also flow line, natural gas flow line, that will not be put back into production again, even after this is finished. This is just a great, great day and a historic day for everyone here and everyone else in the county, in my opinion. That being said, there's so many to mention, to say thank you to. I'd like to thank both cities, their mayors, and their city commission for their continued help, support, and understanding of all the processes that the Eastland County Water Supply District goes through. They've been very good through all of this also. The rural water supply companies like Staff Water, they've been exemplary through this. We will be relocating one of their lines that goes right about where I stand now, and we'll relocate it when the project is over with. This is just going to improve everybody's life out here, the residents on the lake. But the district's focus has always been and will always be the safety of this dam, the Lake Leon Dam, and also the preservation of our water supply, because it is the first priority for all of us. If we don't have water, we don't have anything else in Eastland County. And this project should renew the life of that dam for another 50 plus years at least. I think it's going to be in really good shape when it's over with. This new channel we're going to cut through here is basically where you're sitting at right now. Will be roughly in the center of it, and it'll traverse from the water, the tree line behind me. Those trees will come out, and it'll traverse to the northeast and go into the Colony Creek out there underneath Farm Road 2461, which will put a series of culverts, or TxDOT will put those series of culverts through there to let the water continue downstream. The slope, the channel, if I'm not mistaken, will have a 4-degree slope to the bottom of it, to where it'll keep the water moving, so it won't just be sitting there. That being said, I'd like to ask Judge Fields if he'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Steve. You know, it's always a dangerous thing to give a politician a microphone and some time. So thank goodness we don't have any politicians out here. It's just us folks that have lived here our whole lives. And you know, Ken's had a cabin out here at Lake Leon, and I've come out and gone skiing with him, gosh, 35, maybe 40 years ago now. 40? Yeah, okay. And you know, I knew about Lake Leon. I knew it supplied water for the cities of Eastland and Ranger, but it also supplies water for Staff, Carbon, Olden, Morton Valley, and westbound. This lake right behind us supplies over 60% of all the water used in Eastland County. So Cisco gets water out of Lake Cisco, Rising Star gets water out of a water well field, which is located to the west of town, and Gorman gets its water from Lake Proctor. All of the rest of the water comes out of this area right here, unless I'm mistaken. So I didn't really know how important Lake Leon was, or, well, I knew how important it was. I didn't know what a condition that we had here with the spillway, the main spillway, which we all call the Morning Glory, which I think Ken and I might have skied around a little too close when we were 40 years younger. I didn't realize how that was constructed, or what that looked like when you had a 10 or 11 inch rain over about 5 days, which we had about this time of the year in 2007. I was a brand new, green behind the ears county judge, and I'm trying to put the budget together and do judicial process, and somebody also said, oh, by the way, you're the emergency management director for the county. Well, okay, I'm not sure what that means, but then we had a flood, and all the agencies from the state started coming in. FEMA came in, they declared it a disaster, and it was truly a disaster in 2007. I think the water went over the Morning Glory 10 or 11 feet, and you had to go back up here towards the west end of the lake and see somewhere around 200 homes that were underwater. I know some of you had your property underwater, because I saw you there then, out there at the, you know, looking at your, what used to be your home, and it's now just a pile of rubble that somebody has come out and stripped out all the wet stuff, which is mostly all of your house, and parked it out on the curb. We got through that. Some of you rebuilt, some of you kind of held off. Then, as Steve alluded to, in 2015, we had another huge rain rain, tornado, and hailstorm in 2015. A lady got killed south of Cisco. All that rain came right over here. When it rains at Scranton or Cisco, most of the water comes right in here to Lake Leon. And then we had another flood in 2016, another FEMA declared disaster. So in my 13 plus years, I've had 3 FEMA declared disasters, and most of them impacted our Lake Leon dam or the infrastructure that comes out of the dam. And I think in 2016, we started seeing the top of the road start to split with the gaps over here on top of the dam. In 2018, I was at a meeting and my phone rang. We just had a whole bunch of rain coming in 2018, and the DPS sergeant said, "I think you're going to want to know what's going on at Lake Leon." "Okay, Sergeant Foster, what's going on?" He said, "Well, part of the dam has just slipped off the face of the dam and slid down into the lake." "Yeah, I think I want to go out there and have a look at that." And so we had it was ECWAG, Emergency Water Assistance Grant, that put the sheet pile wall back up and put in all the dirt work to stabilize the face of the dam, the upside stream of the dam. And I know that some of the Flintstone group here worked on that project for a long time to get that done. And here we are today. We're going to get the new spillway put in. It's going to be at close to the level of the Morning Glory. I think a foot or so, 3 foot difference between that. So when the water comes up now, instead of it backing up and trying to go down to Morning Glory and gasp, like we've all seen it do, where it shoots the water back up in the air backwards, it's going to be able to drain out and go back into Connie Creek and get on out of here. So I'm just proud to be a small part of this. The way the county comes in on this, I know it's called the Eastern County Water Supply District, but that's in name only. It's not part of the county entity. It's not a section or department of county government. They just use the county name. But the county is eligible for some of these funds that we've used. The water district is not eligible. The water district, though, contacted me and my commissioners, and I've had 12 different commissioners in my 13 and a half years. Every time the Commissioners Court was approached by Steve or his board to do something to get a grant done, we said yes. We certainly want to help wherever we can. I'm very glad that First Financial was able to step up and help with some of that interim financing, because FEMA only gives you 75%. The local funding has got to give you the other 25%. Now there's some emergency grants that Steve and his board put together and went through the county, but that's the reason that I'm in on this deal, is because the county was eligible for some of these funds and the water district was not. But man, I'm glad to be here to help whatever we need. If we don't have Lake Leon, just like Steve said, what do we have? The owners of EBA told me, they said if that dam washes away, EBA is gone. We'll have to close up. In fact, they have their own private water line that comes out, I think, from the city of Eastland, because they use so much volume out there. And it's not just the channel, it's also dam stabilization, which Steve also touched on. It's an earthen dam, as we all know, and the backside of it's been real steep all these years, and it's just been washing down since this dam was built in 1955. Ken, do you remember that? 1955? Okay, just born. Well, you got out here when you could, right? I like to pick on him because he and I have known each other a long time. But this project stabilizes the backside of the dam. The front side of the dam now has got 2 sheet pile walls in there, looking to get a third one in on this end down here. But that's my part in this as your county judge, was to kind of help keep whatever needed that we could help from the county. I know one of my commissioners is here right now, and all 12 commissioners have worked with me in the past 13 and a half years to get what we need done out here at Lake Leon. So I'm just proud to be a little part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I think the judge is selling himself and his commissioner's court a little bit short on all of this, but that's just my opinion. Next, I'd like to speak a little bit about the team that I believe that the Water Supply District has put together. I like to call them the R18 Team. And that A-Team, in my opinion, is our Board of Directors first off, County Judge Rex Fields second, the Commissioner Court, and our engineering staff, Scott Hay with Improtech, Hibbs and Todd, the Brandon Hilbrick, Chris Parker, Raleigh Beam with HDR Engineering out of Austin, and also Judy Langford and Sue Ellen Jordan with Langford Community Management Services. I tell you what, we've not missed a project yet using all these folks. I learned a long time ago that if you want to get something done, I'm no smarter than anyone else, but you surround yourself with individuals that are smarter in specific areas than you are, and they bring their services to the front and get these projects done. That being said, I'd like to ask Brandon Hilbrick with HDR Engineering out of Austin to come up and give a few words. And then Scott Hay after that.
Thank you, Steve. Brandon Hilberg with HDR Engineering. I was the drainage lead for this project from the beginning. I just want to say it's been an honor and a privilege to work with Steve in the district since 2015, helping to put together those grant applications to make this project come to a reality and really add a new level of safety to the dam, letting it live for another 50 plus years, and also bringing some improved flood risk reduction to the citizens surrounding the lake, and let everyone sleep a little bit easier at night. So it's been an honor. It's been fun. I'm glad to be out here now, seeing them working on the site. It's always fun to see something go from paper to the groundbreaking, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Scott, would you like to say a few words?
As the district's engineer that's worked most of the water projects for the district, when the project involving the dam came about, that was an area where our firm doesn't have strong expertise, and that's where we decided to partner with HDR and Brandon and Chris and those guys that have a really strong background in dam projects like that, and we partnered with them to address this project, and they've really brought that expertise to the forefront in many ways to protect what I think is probably the most important piece of infrastructure in Eastland County. Because like Steve said, if you don't have water here, you don't have much else. And the project is going to do a lot of really good things to protect this dam, bring it back to even probably better functionality than it was when it was originally designed, thanks to HDR and their folks. And it's just been a pleasure for us to work with the district as well, and we look forward to a very successful project here and alleviating some concerns for the citizens around Lake Leon, and most of all to restore the dam to a proper level of safety to protect that piece of infrastructure. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Scott. I don't know much else to say. There's like I say, so many people. You know, back on the engineering side of this, it just struck my memory. Back in the 90s, James Little and some others, residents of Lake Leon, got together and hired HDR Engineering to do a study on this lake and the dam on the lake and this spillway. I've seen copies of that engineering report and study. Some reason it didn't happen then. I think it was in '97 when it was completed or thereabouts. But James is over there right now. A friend of his, Bill Myers, over there, that have been real motivators of mine to get this project done. And they had past experiences. This dam and lake has flooded, I'm wanting to say prior to 97 or somewhere in there, 87 or 92 different times from June of 1954 till then, and it's sure has since then. So it's been plagued with flooding, and the dam has had multiple slips on it over the years, we went back through the minutes of the old meetings and found that it had been addressed. The dam had been in meetings with it almost every year or two since its construction. But anyway, this should hopefully fix all of that. And like Scott said, Judge and Brandon said, you know, getting to see it go from paper to dirt work or groundbreaking is neat. It's, like I said, been a long time getting here, but we are here. And like I said earlier, where you're sitting is just about in midway on this channel that we will cut from the lake here to the Colony Creek on the other side of 2461. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Yes. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Thank you, Mr. Gervis. Casey Pointer, Dorado Construction Group. I just want to extend our thanks to your community for allowing us to be here to do this job. It kind of hits home for me. 92, 93, my grandparents lived below a government lake that the dam actually broke on and flooded their entire property. We ended up getting them out, fortunately, with a boat. We drove over their fence with a boat. So the safety factor in this and shoring up that and having the spillway that will alleviate those floodwaters, I can completely understand. Anyways, I just wanted to thank each of you, and I wanted you to know that Dorado is committed to treating this job with respect and doing it the way it's supposed to be done according to our engineers and making sure it gets done properly. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here. Thank you, Mr. Gervis.
Dorado has really exhibited a willingness and ability and knowledge of how to do this project. I'm very proud to have made a contract with these folks. That being said, I think it's time to break ground on this project. If the board of directors would like to come over here, and if we have enough shovels, Judge, would you join us on this? Okay, I think we do. If you can't plug it in, you don't want to use it. Brandon, I think we got an extra one here, Brandon. That being said, Dorado, would you start your engine, please? Can you hear me?
Aren't you going to be up there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go, chair. We'll get that rock right.
Hey, Mark, y'all need to do a picture facing this way.
Oh, you do?
Y'all need to be on that side facing this way. So much better. Y'all get on that side facing this way. Okay. That way the trucks are in the background. I'm glad somebody was here. I was like, what are you doing, Julie? Go tell them what to do. I'm not in charge of this thing. You can't even film it.
Well, you're very smart. I live stream.
Sorry. Oh, you're good.
You guys are on this side, put the shovel on this end. Work together
Come on up, Bob.
Everybody leaving on the trouble, everybody else watching. Yeah.
Be glad to be done. So I promise. Thank you for having me. Get it done. That way we're safe, right?
Well, I guess that's it, huh? Okay, everybody. Right over the seat, turn the bump to. Right? I should guarantee if you turn the bump to. Thank you.